Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Yeah, we'll just jump right in.
We'll just lady journey our way into this.
We went to Miami, and I was like, I'm going to decide when I turn 37. When I turn 36, I'm going to give myself a year to decide if I want kids. I felt so much pressure immediately. I had 2 margaritas. I had a breakdown on the beach. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And then we haven't talked about it since. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I've put a pause on it, and now my birthday is in 3 weeks. And so I was like, I guess that's not how it happens, you know?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have strong feelings about it. I could take, it was like, a life is great without, but also an amazing bonus with. Yeah. And I'd rather have a nice relationship first, because Joe didn't want to have kids, and then he changed his mind. So, but I do tell now every female comic, if you can afford it, just freeze your eggs. So you can have relax a little bit.
Just have the option. Yeah, that's probably what I need to do. I'm just like spinning out. I love your like, with is great and without is great. I'm like, with is a nightmare and without is regret. Okay, I've got 2 bad paths.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most cancer response to any life conundrum is that they are both equally as terrible.
I'm freaking out. So
no, it's like, awful. And I always feel like guys don't get it. In that part.
Well, because they don't feel that pressure. For them, there's no pressure of the clock is ticking and your time is running out. Yeah, and you're only useful if you have babies. And they don't have that pressure.
The guy's clock is ticking at like 83 now, apparently.
Like, my clock's still going.
Yeah. It's what? Because, like, was it Al Pacino and De Niro are having kids in their 70s and 80s?
It's going to be like Muppet Baby version of like.
Hilarious.
The Godfather.
But it was like, how can you just be a dad when you're like, later, like you're there for 2 years and you're like, peace out, not my problem anymore. Like, they're at that point, I'm like, oh, I think they're just sperm donors.
Yeah.
Like, I'm clearly these women know what they've gotten themselves into and know what
you kind of have to. You kind of have to know the deal where it's like your kid's gonna be taken care of.
There's the financial part, and won't be in his life.
I love Alec Baldwin, or not Alec Baldwin. I love Al Pacino. The photos of him and his beautiful girlfriend. Now the girlfriend is
35.
She's just unutterably stunning. And then you see him, and he's just like, his eye is not opening, just drooling like just not aware even that there's a camera. She's like voguing and he's just befuddled. It's like
someone shoved him into the picture, like, gotta take a picture with her. She's posing and he's like, just so confused.
It's like, but no, it's true love. It's true love. It's like, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
He couldn't even groom himself.
A love of what is the question.
But no, Gina, you have a unique story with your baby because you gave birth during the pandemic, like early into the pandemic. What was that like?
Would you recommend it?
Yeah,
because it feels the ideal situation because you're
built-in maternity leave.
Well, do you know what? People, I think, when they would ask me about it, they were like, oh my God, what was it like during the pandemic? I'm like, I was a pregnant lady who was told to stay home. What do you want me to do?
Right.
I was literally like, okay, I guess I'll just order food and watch cable.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh my. I think a lot of people had time for introspection too, so I think that was the biggest thing, was spending that much time with my husband, being very pregnant, and then having a newborn and being inside 24/7.
Yeah.
Once my son was born, the pregnancy thing, oh great, I ordered bacon, egg, and cheese every day. We, whatever groceries we could order and cook, we would order and cook. I was still working via Zoom, and thankfully it had a couple of corporate gigs via Zoom, and that's kind of what kept us afloat.
Yeah.
And so, all of that was just kind of regular. But then when the baby was there, it was like, all of the pressures, because I was trying to breastfeed, and then I was under so much stress. I wasn't making enough milk, and my son was underweight, and we had to put formula in, and then I was crying and upset and had trauma from the delivery, and it was dealing with all of that. That was the hard part about being home constantly and not being able to take my son out much, not being able to have him interact with other people or other babies. Like, he's learning how to socialize now. And that's where, you kind of just feel bad for the kid, because like, whereas other kids will like walk up to each other and make conversation, when another kid like walks up to my son, he's very much like, I don't.
Yeah, like indoor
Ew.
cat energy. Yeah.
Very, very much like, why are you? I don't understand. Like somebody tries to bully my kid, and he's like, I don't see what the point. I'm just gonna go get my mom.
Yeah.
I guess.
What are you doing?
Well,
it's like my friend's kid. It was like that. We noticed he has his friends waving hi outside by the baseball park, and he won't acknowledge it. And you're like, you gotta say hi back, you weirdo.
At least a head nod. Do something.
Yeah.
Acknowledge his existence, because we can all see it.
A whole mini generation of like just weirdly adjusted children.
Well, that's maybe one of the downfalls of being such a conscious parent is if my son doesn't want to say hi, I'm like, that's cool. He doesn't want to say hi.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm like,
That's
it's
the thing.
antisocial. High five. Let's go hide in a room somewhere.
He's an
kid.
artist.
I know, not like our parents that are like, get over there and give him a hug.
Yeah.
Snuggle with that man.
Touch him.
You're like, who is he though?
He's your drunk Uncle Lester, and he loves you. Give him a big weird hug.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
trauma.
Here we go. Can't wait to unpack that later over wine. Oh my gosh. But so he's almost 3 now, your son.
Yeah.
And you're a boy mom, and I love that. And you have some hilarious material about boy mom. I think it's really funny.
Thank you.
Like you've like, oh my God, you're so funny. You're so funny. Like in the past few years, it's like this trend of like gendered parenting.
Yes.
You know, like boy mom, girl dad. Like what is that? It feels new to me. Like that doesn't seem like it was a thing.
It doesn't seem like it was hyped up before. And I think a lot of it is, one, people calling parents out for their ridiculousness when it comes to like sayings like parents were saying this to me all the time. Oh, you're having a boy. Thank God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
oh, the
weird?
Boys are so much easier than the girls. What I
think that's a projection in a weird way.
It's 100% a projection, and it's 100% something that it's almost so ingrained in our society that parents really believe that that's a thing. Oh, girls are way more difficult. No, girls are more put upon. The way I talk about it on stage is I always say, like, when you think about it, like, we don't teach little boys about consent. We teach little girls to cover up. We don't we don't teach these things. We put everything on the little girl.
Yes,
you have to be responsible. I was telling my husband this the other day. I said, they never told y'all to put your keys in your fingers when you're walking to your car
Wolverine
at night.
keys.
Yeah. I saw there's a TikTok I saw the other day, and I was like, oh, that's so true, where the girl was saying about like parents being like, oh, boys are so much easier, and then you're like, yeah, well, now we're teaching them all the stuff that you didn't do. Where you're like, it is kind of amazing. Now, when you were dating, where the amount of guys that didn't know how to do laundry, or basic computer stuff,
or like
I'm
just
getting personal.
No sheet on the bed.
You're like, this is what I've dealt with.
They don't know how to copy and paste. Do you have that with men?
It was scary. It was scary.
Talking to you, Gare. Talking to you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's a frustrating thing. I think I had an ex-boyfriend that was proud of the fact that he had never one day in his life done laundry for himself.
That's wild.
And I was like, this is a point of pride for you?
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
I'm like, you're an invalid.
Yeah.
You can't take care of yourself. Yeah.
You literally need to be mothered is what you're just saying.
Exactly.
You told me in that sentence.
Or they don't know how to cook a meal for themselves. When people
it's
are
like a meal.
I'm a dead weight.
Like an actual meal. Not like I'm going to microwave a burger and
Yeah.
throw it in a frying pan. A meal.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I didn't know how to cook.
And then I learned.
You just figure it out. Yeah. So like, I don't know why you didn't have to go through that stuff.
Yeah, as though like girls are going to like culinary school at home with their parents. Like, who has the time? Who has the time? Yeah, I didn't learn how to cook really until the pandemic. That was when I was like a bad cook before the pandemic. In my 20s, I would try. I remember I would be like, I'm making dinner for my boyfriend, and it would just be awful. Just like I could cook one thing, and it was curry, and it was just chopping vegetables and putting it with coconut
leaving it
milk.
there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then being like, these veggies are hard. But it's great. Like if a guy's sleeping with you, then he's like, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
No, it's
The
really
power-
great.
the power
We're
of the
still having
vagina.
sex, right?
Yeah.
We're still sleeping together, right?
Yeah.
This is delicious.
Yeah, but it's the same. Yeah, it's like guys should. If you're a guy, you need to have a recipe. That's why.
Just one recipe and one cool looking jacket is what I say.
Yeah.
When guys are like, I don't know how to get girls, I'm like, just get a jacket.
One cool
recipe,
looking jacket.
Yeah.
A recipe, a jacket, and I will say one good pair of shoes. I'll put that too, because sometimes you see a guy and he's really nice, and then you look at his footwear and you're like, oh no, something is wrong.
We've actually had ceremonies for my husband's shoes that I've made him throw away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of shoes? What type of shoes were these?
They're like Vans. Like he had a pair of Vans forever, and literally they had a hole in them.
I'm like looking at Lex before we go into shoe wear. I'm like,
just
Nikes.
Those are fine. Those are fine.
Those are good. You're doing very well. Those are well taken care of shoes.
Like you date a guy, you start dating a guy, and then one day he shows up in like loafers, like penny loafers, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize you were 85.
How about, I'll name a name here. Matthew Broussard wears boat shoes with no socks, and that's always been shocking.
But that's so his character.
It is.
My husband used to do that, the boat shoes with no socks, and every time I see him wearing shoes with no socks, I side eye the crap out of him because I'm like, that's so nasty. I know your feet sweating.
Yes.
I know your feet are sweaty.
Summer is not an excuse.
That's disgusting.
Yes. I also get on like guys have a real hard time with pedicures, and you don't need to get nail polish on there, but like cut your toenails.
Cut your toenails. Get a foot massage.
Yeah. Moisturize those calluses.
Yeah.
I went to go get nails done the other day. I told you I ended up leaving because the wait was like 40 minutes, which I expected because it's New York. But, I like to just wait until I'm about to go in 5 minutes and then leave in a huff. You know? Like, it was almost my turn, but I actually want to make a big
You're like,
scene.
no, I want to make a point. And that point is I've waited too long.
Miss, you don't want to wait? I'm like, I have been, ladies. But I had to leave, though, because there was a guy next to me not getting a pedicure, which he desperately needed. An older man with gnarly toes.
Oh, no.
Getting the foot massage. And he kept being like, he's like, a little more on the toes, a little more on the toes. And I was just like, no, I have to go. I have been wronged.
I've got an infection just looking at this man's feet.
Yes, I know. It's like, well, you get a pedicure. I love it when guys get pedicures. I think it's so I see a lot of men in the nail salons a lot more now than I did before.
And you know what? It's very courteous. If you're going to be touching a woman, please have clean fingernails. Please have clean toenails.
UTIs.
Yes. If
I
you're
don't
going
need
to
a UTI.
be near a woman's body, just clean your fingers and toes.
I know. I love it.
I don't know what you're putting where, but
dating
keep them
101.
clean.
Dating
so funny
101.
because I feel like you would never see that as advice in a GQ magazine.
No.
It's
GQ
all about
was
like how to eat her out properly.
Yeah.
And you're like, just clean fingernails and toenails is all we want.
Yeah, it's like make $1 million in
and then
stocks.
it's like the weirdest advice when it comes to like, how to eat her out properly, and you're like, that's actually all wrong. Like both physiologically and technically, you are so wrong.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it's like hurting. Just too intense.
You're like, flick it first. You're like, never flick. You never flick.
Or
you
like
never
blow
flick.
on it. It's like, that will cause an embolism.
Yes.
That's the worst advice. Never blow.
I will pee. You don't know whose bladder is doing what.
Yes.
Yeah.
A weak bladder.
Don't inflate
blow on
my
anything.
bladder. Yeah.
Don't.
My God.
It's off the rails.
I
now.
wasn't expecting we were going into eating out culture, but I love it.
I love it. I love it.
We are now rated R.
Yes.
Gina, are you
Lady
on the
Journey.
road right now? How's going on the road while having a little guy at
this
home?
is what I want to
heartbreaking.
know for
It's
comedy.
heartbreaking. I'm gonna be
and
real with
being
y'all.
a mom.
Yeah.
I bought him a couple times on the road with me, and it was stressful, but it was great. I was with him, and I'd wake up, but I can't mess up his sleep schedule. Like, that's the thing. Would I love for him to be a road kid? Of course, man. I loved even when he would hang in the green room and I'd have to have another comic just watch him for my set because I couldn't get a sitter.
Yeah.
You
Which
know.
I will do.
I would do.
Make it about me. I'm a mom. This is my baby.
Yeah, it's my baby and my show. So, garçon, you are now a babysitter. Yeah, we had I did a tour in a little mini tour in Texas where my son was with me.
Okay.
And my best friend was opening for me, James Goff, and
Oh, I love James.
Yeah, and he was
he's
he was
the
basically
best.
the other uncle. He's Uncle
Yeah.
James. He's the babysitter.
Yeah.
And so it was him and my buddy Mike. So they took turns, kind of watching
That's
the little one
nice.
for a little while. But I realized it's messing with his sleep schedule. It messes with
it's
everything.
It's tough.
Especially since I'm constantly flying to the West Coast. So, my husband and I do our best to kind of split the time. We both work weekends. So on the
Okay.
weekends, he's usually with my parents. Unless I'm
Okay.
working the clubs in New York, then he's at home with a babysitter till I get home from work.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
Well, that's good, though. It's so good for him to develop the, grandma and grandpa. It's like you want him to be there at the weekends. It's so important.
Yeah, it's great for
Not
him
gonna
to
be
be
there
around
forever.
them. Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially since, my parents are in their 80s. So it's
Yeah.
Even and they still love to babysit, even though they're in their 80s. They want to see him.
It's the most exciting thing to have a little cutie.
Yeah. And they're blown away by him because he's this little kid that just wants to chat all the time.
Oh my gosh,
he's just
love him.
he's snuggly, and he's in that stage where he just wants to, when he gets nervous, he asks for kisses and hugs, and it's like the cutest thing.
So sweet. Oh my god, you love little baby snuggles. Little baby snuggles.
Probably keeps him alive longer too.
Let's just go. Come on, let's go bring him in.
I know. Oh my gosh,
he's right here. And he walks in the room like a special guest.
We've never had a baby guest, but we should. Oh my gosh,
a baby guest. Yes,
I love a baby guest.
What do you think about men?
He would just repeat the question. He'd be like, "What do you think about me?" It would sound very philosophical.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
What do you think about me?
I haven't thought about it.
I know. I love talking.
You should ask.
That's no worries.
That's him.
That's him.
That's
him.
him.
And he's here.
And he's calling in right now. Yes, caller, you're live on the air.
So it's tough though. Like when I imagine, like when you're like packing up for the weekend, you're like saying goodbye, and then you're going on the road. Do you feel like a sense of like, oh, I have my old life back, or are you just kind of like, I'm mom, but it feels weird?
If I could stay home with my son 24/7, I would.
Would you really? Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love comedy. Don't get me wrong. I love what I do. I love having a career. I'm very proud of my career. But if I could just be with him, I would 100%.
Did that switch when you had him? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's.
I think you have the mindset of being like, I can have. You feel like, for me, it feels like giving up stand up would be giving up a part of me.
Yeah.
And that's how I can't see anything different. But I've always wondered, does your mind change a bit when you have a kid?
I can't speak for everybody. Because I think, there's so many different camps on this. Like, people say that it fuels you more to work on your career because you want to be that kind of example for your kid. And, to a certain extent, there is that. But I think because it really is like your heart outside of yourself, like that's the only way I can describe how I felt like the first time holding my son or seeing him. You're just like, it's the amount of love you feel. You're just like, I didn't know I was capable of this much love. And it's almost like, everything takes a backseat to that love where you're like, oh yeah, if I could just do this, if I could just watch you grow and make sure that you're okay.
Yeah.
And that you go out in life and you're ready to live your own life and be your own person and you're safe. And I know, and I, believe in you that you are safe and that you're going to make all the good choices and protect yourself. I'll be good for the rest of my life. Just knowing that you're good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's beautiful.
It feels, I wish it felt like that for everybody. That's the bummer.
Yeah.
I know.
As a mom, you want, like, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get that it doesn't. And I don't fault anybody for it.
Yeah.
But it's just for the kid, it's a bummer that your parents don't feel that way.
Yeah. It is weird when you see that happen where you're like, oof.
Or when people tell
that
me.
did not connect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nothing? Okay. All right.
Wild inside of you, and you were like, nope.
No feelings whatsoever?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. All right. Or even people that like disown their kids. Like I have a real issue with anybody that disowns their kids for being gay or any part of the LGBTQ.
Wild.
Like the fact that would even still happen today like infuriates me.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to go to the Pride Parade this year and give out free mom hugs. But I'm
so
freaking
sweet.
working, so now I just have to randomly give out free mom hugs one day.
I love it. Just a mom coming towards you.
Oh, God.
Free mom hugs. If you got a bad relationship with your mom, free mom hugs.
Oh, I love that.
Let's
an act
heal
of service.
that mother wound.
Well, I love what you're doing. I mean, you've always been an incredible writer. Like, I love the stuff that you did about like your wedding, the experience
It's
of like
so relatable and funny, and just like with a different viewpoint.
Yeah. And you've got like that great material about like people are like, oh, are you gonna lose weight for your wedding? You're like, why? Why would I? Like, just the perspective.
Did you lose the part of it where it's my wedding? Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna be on the cover of Vogue.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be in my wedding. I'm gonna get if I could have worn sweats.
Also,
I
just like
would've.
how funny just to lose weight just for the wedding and then go back to normal. You're like, you married a different lady
like
that
crap
day.
again. The second you put
just-
that ring on my finger, it is over. The
and now you
diet's
have like
over.
a hormone problem from the ephedra use.
You're like, peel me out of this corset and give me a burger immediately.
Is that on The Floor is Lava? That's on that special?
Is it The Floor is Lava? No, it would be. I think that one was Easily Offended, maybe.
Oh, Easily Offended.
I don't know. I have so many
so
specials,
many.
guys.
Yes.
I can't
You're
tell you.
prolific.
How many do you have?
I did a 20-minute for HBO for their Entreno series.
Okay, was
I
that
did
the
a
same one
30-minute
with Carmen?
for HBO. Yes. It was the same thing she did, not the same season.
Okay, but same
thing.
Model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did those pretty closely together. I did the 20 minutes and then I did the half hour. And then half hour, and then there was Easily Offended.
So much material. I'm
And
so
then
impressed.
Yeah.
It's so hard
Easily
to create.
was the half hour, and then The Floor Is Lava.
Yeah.
And I see you working out now. Like I see you at the clubs,
Yeah.
and you've got like, you know, it's like you're the same you, but you've almost kind of like stepped into this like evolved identity of like the mom life, where it's like you're bringing the writing, and you've got so many like fun perspectives. And it's like, what's your process in terms of like are you like observing things like as a mom or like as society, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna take this back and like maybe I'll like play around with it, or like what are you doing?
Well, it's funny because for this special, I have a friend of mine who's been my homegirl for a while now, and she's a writer and producer, and she had approached me and she said we should work on the next special together because there's a lot of stuff that I'm unpacking that she's more familiar with.
Okay.
And so, she has really helped me unpack a lot of the stuff I needed to let go of. Because all of a sudden I had this kid and I started feeling differently
heard that
about other things, and
people see the stuff from their childhood not realizing that was fucked up until they have a kid, and then you relive it and you realize how damaging that was.
Especially as a boy mom, like I realize that I am raising this next generation of however he identifies in the future, but I'm raising this next generation of human, and to make sure that I'm raising this human to be a good human, I have to be conscious of all of my crap. Not just be on top of them, but be aware when I'm putting my crap on top of this kid. So that means I gotta unpack it first. So this special has been a journey of me unpacking a lot of stuff where I would be like, I would say to my mom, man, this bothers me. Why does this bother me now? It never used to bother me. And then she would go, well,
I love it.
Let's break this. It's going to be hard. Let's break this down.
Oh my God. It's great. It's like a therapy special.
Yeah.
Therapy special.
It was a lot of breaking down of concepts. It was a lot of, or even I would say something and having that's problematic for this reason.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize.
I think about that when I eat and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so fat. Where I'm like, you can't, that's so damaging, especially I guess for girls, but also guys too, I guess. Now, when we're older, I'm seeing everybody has disordered eating.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, I should probably say I just feel full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel too, like I ate too much or like I overdid it a little bit.
Yeah.
Not automatically being like I'm fat or I'm
as it's a negative.
Yeah. As a negative thing.
Yeah. Like the mindfulness of the feeling of guilt surfacing.
Yeah, well, Joe and I joke that now we can't say, I'm going to just kill myself because that is so comforting and it's funny to us.
Yeah.
But you're like, it's fucked up for a child to hear that you want to kill yourself, even in a humorous way.
Yeah.
He's going to school saying it, thinking it's a joke. Like, I had to kill myself. The teacher's like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
I love it.
He's like, we're going to talk with your mom and dad real quick. Like, let's just give him a call real quick. I feel like something might be going down at home. Like we have to be constant, especially since I'm such a smart ass 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And me and my husband are both like that. So we're just like I've really, there's times when I've had to be like, Daddy was just kidding. He just said. And there's times where he'd be like, Mommy didn't mean to say that word. Yeah. And it's just like we are constantly on top of each other of like, don't. Because he's a kid. He can't decipher what is sarcasm.
Right. Oh, right. And when they're verbal, too, it's like just a little snippet.
Yeah.
Snippet.
It just takes one little thing to say that you feel is innocuous, and later on you realize. Like, my parents always kind of talked about money, and it's really in my mindset of everything, of being conscious of, like, is this going to cost a lot of money? And how weird that is to put financial burden onto your children.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the conversations I had with my husband, too. I was like, when people struggle with this lack mentality, which a lot of our parents did because that just, it was what they lived. They lived this life of survival. Like, I don't blame my parents for the work and therapy I've done to understand them.
Yeah.
I just understand them in a different way now. And I go, yeah, of course, you were worried about survival. I have the luxury of thinking about my child's mental health.
Yeah.
I have the luxury of considering my child's feelings. You didn't have that because you were working 3 or 4 jobs to take care of kids, pay bills, do this. And so when I look back at it now, I go, yeah, because my husband has a little bit of that in him too.
Yeah.
I don't so much, but it's very surprising that I don't. But maybe that's because it was just a part of growing up that, we were on food stamps for a while. We got donations from the church. Like, I didn't realize that wasn't an everybody thing until I got to a certain age.
Isn't
and I
that
was
crazy?
like, oh, not everybody's broke.
Yeah.
It was just my family for this short period of time. And when people hear like, oh, food stamps and this, they always think like, oh, your family was mooching off the government. No, my mom still had about 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And we were still on food
Did you
stamps.
grow up here in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grew up in the South
one
Bronx,
of the most expensive cities to live in,
my
too.
mom was cleaning houses. She sold Avon. She did everything. Like, my parents did everything. So, like, I never looked at it like that. I just thought that was part of the struggle.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah. Like, everybody's struggle to survive?
Just hustling, yeah.
Oh, just my family?
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. I thought that was everybody's struggle thing.
Yeah, and then one day you're at the store and you're like, I can't afford these nuts. And you're like, where did this come from?
It's $20.
These nuts.
$13 for cashews. I think nuts.
Yeah, I know. I've definitely had moments like that where, it's so, I'm doing a new therapy right now that's like a mindfulness where it's like you just becoming like mindful of, and I've never done this type of modality before. I've always done like talk therapy or like processing or like more cognitive behavioral. And this is really just noticing what's happening and just allowing it to be there and like welcoming it, and it's kind of nice in a way that you're like, oh, I don't need to do anything about it. I just need to notice that it's there and know that it's there and know that I just freaked out about nuts that were $13.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me. It's a different way of like looking at things. I think like cognitive behavioral is always like changing it, like, or all that self-helpy like manifestation stuff is like never think a bad thought because then Jesus won't grant your wish. It's just like a lot of
then
magical
unicorn
thinking.
Santa Claus Jesus won't make your wish come true. I do, even though like I look at it and I do think that it's very important to be mindful of what you're thinking, I don't agree with people that are like never have a negative thought.
Absolutely.
Because negative thoughts are going to happen.
Yes.
It's about how you deal with them.
Yes.
It's about going, I'm making that story up in my head.
Yeah.
I am creating a negative narrative because that's what I'm used to. That's my go-to. Is to be pessimistic, is to create a negative narrative. Because when you're positive, people think you're woo-woo and goofy and you got your head in the clouds.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're
I just have hope.
Yeah. It's called
Don't
hope.
take it away from
And
me.
you need a tall glass of it.
Now, Gina, you had a self-help podcast.
I did.
So what's
Self-helpish,
what's your favorite like self-help that you go back to? Is it like mindfulness or?
Oh, mindfulness is a big one for me. I work on presence a lot because
It's
I
so
find
powerful
myself
for like performing.
Yeah. I find myself disappearing into my thoughts a lot. I find myself disappearing into either, and this is most people, thoughts of the future or thoughts of the past.
Yes.
I rarely find myself so focused on the present moment that I really feel like I sit in my body. And so I work a lot on being present, especially with my son. And you know how like what I think it does for me is, when they say, oh, everything goes so fast. I'm like, it does, but I've been present for all of those moments.
Yes.
So they sat with me. It wasn't like I was just somewhere else. I can tell you how his face looked. I can tell you what I was wearing. I was there in that moment. So I think presence is such a big thing in life, but particularly for performers, I think it's a really important thing because presence tells us everything we need to know.
It's so much. I do feel like it's hard to do it. It's like sometimes you just get sucked into your mind and then you just come to and it's like 3 years have gone and you're like, who am I? Where am I? Like, what's happening?
I've done that like on stage where like, I cannot believe I'm in this bit right now and I don't know that I'm in here.
Yeah.
I just have
like,
the muscle memory of it. Yeah. I'm just saying the words because I know these words.
Yeah.
But I don't know I'm not in the moment of like reflect or feeling what's going on in the audience right now.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be scary when you're on stage. I think when I get scared, I tend to like kind of detach and kind of go inside myself. And it's like when I can notice it, being on stage has actually helped me notice in my own life. Being a performer helped me be present because I notice it on stage when I'm like, oh, that guy gave me a weird look. Like I went away a little bit. And now I'm like, let me come back and be in the moment again. And then it's like, scared, running inside, running and hiding.
Somebody just sent me a video about how to kind of get over that like a certain like bad habit, like if you have like bad habits, understand that your nervous system is trained to do that. So no matter the amount of self-help or positive thoughts you have, once your nervous system is trained to do something, you will detach until you make yourself comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Ooh.
And she said one of the ways to do that is a cold shower.
I knew you were going to say that. Is
that the nerve that you
stand
hit?
in a cold shower for as long as you can stand it. Do not let yourself leave, even if it's 2 minutes. Eventually, you will shock your nervous system to not be scared in those moments where you're fighting your flight or your fight or flight.
Yeah.
You're fighting it.
Yes.
In that moment. So it teaches you to sit in the uncomfortable.
It's so powerful. And you know, Mike does cold showers, my boyfriend. Yeah. And he's always trying to get me to do it. And I'm like, I like to do the opposite. I turn it as hot as I can.
Yes, and zone out.
I'm trying to burn in the fiery pits of shower hell. Stay out of my business.
Yeah. I'm like drying my skin out, you know, drying my hair. But I recently started turning it cold at the end, and I'll do it like every other one. And it is wild how you even just doing it a tiny bit. And I saw something online that said if you can do a cold shower even 5 minutes, you get the same effect in your body as cocaine, but it lasts, instead of 2 minutes, it lasts for like 2 hours. Yeah. And it's like, now that's how I know Mike's type is like a cokehead. He's just like a cokehead type of guy, like running around.
You're like, so you're into coke. It's like, I said I like cold showers. Yeah. Where are you getting this?
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's like making a business plan.
Oh my gosh. It does make a difference, though. I do find myself, when I do it, more inclined to speak up and not. I think, as you know, women, especially in this industry, we have a tendency to quiet ourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are so many careers that have been salvaged because of our silence in so many ways. Yeah. And so when I started implementing some of the cold showers, I started to realize that I was a lot more ballsy in conversations with people. And I was a lot less scared of the uncomfortable, where I was like, all right, this is going to be weird, but I'm going to say it anyway.
That's exciting.
And you say it and you're just like, no regrets.
Yeah, oh my God, that's great.
Sit in this
cold showers, grow a pair.
Like a conversation jihad.
Yeah.
Here I come.
Yeah.
I'm coming in hot from a cold shower. Doesn't make sense.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna start doing it. I'm dipping my toe in, literally and figuratively, but
yeah,
I think
baby steps.
Baby steps. Oh my gosh, it's great. It's great.
I would want to try. That is the one thing out of the Joe Rogan book I would do, is the cold dips that he does.
Oh my gosh. I love his the sauna cycle.
We think he's on one big lady journey.
Yeah, Joe Rogan is our...
Yeah, even hunting is a lady journey, we believe.
Yeah, you wear matching outfits.
You're cooking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Accessories.
It's like, it's supposed to be like, I think it's a bad stereotype. It's like men are hunters, women are gatherers. It's like, I'm hunting crafts, okay?
I'm still hunting.
I'm hunting little pieces for myself.
When guys watch sports, I'm like, I like sports, but I call it Real Housewives.
Yeah.
It's mental sports.
Yeah.
It's mental sports.
And it's a longer game.
Psychological sports game.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, you think football's brutal? Like, Countess Luann will take out a town. She'll bankrupt the entire town.
I bet you don't know how to deal with her.
Yeah.
What's your game plan when you deal with Luann Dillisup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to cry? Is
yeah.
that what you're going to do? You're going to cry?
Well, she's going to win.
Are you going to wear camouflage and try to blend in with the sofa? Try to hide from the fight that's coming?
Yeah. Are you doing AGT right now?
No,
or was that in the past?
I did it in 2021. And it was a wild experience because we were just kind of everybody in production was still dealing with COVID regulations.
Yeah.
And so for the initial audition, we were all kept very separate from each other. They had a holding area and we had to be 6 feet apart from each other.
Wow.
So it was like I had this corner and then the dancers had that corner and then it was there and it was in this huge space. And then when it came to the show, we were constantly masked up. Some of us wore the shields. Like for me, because I had hair and makeup, I would wear the shield and I felt like a superhero.
I love that. Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Hot mask.
I was like, oh my God, look at me. I'm a sexy superhero.
You're in a one piece unitard too.
I'm like, guys, I really feel like you're going with the superhero vibe. You're like, Gina, you want a cape? I don't need a cape. It was wild to do the show. It was a wild experience. I'm happy for everybody who's done it like since then because I think it is great exposure for comics, and it's a good test of your skills, I think, because you have such a short amount of time. it really is a test of your self-editing skills. Because you only have about 2 minutes.
It's so much harder to go tighter, to go. It's like even 5 minutes, you have like at least if you can bomb one time, you can recover.
It's harder to work on a late night than it is an hour. Because an hour I have time to play with.
Yeah.
I can take my time. I can pause. I can play with different things. If I only have 5 minutes to do on a late night set, I got to bam, 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 or tell one amazing 5-minute story.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's also, I feel like the humor for AGD, you got to connect with that it's a different than a club audience.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's people that aren't necessarily there for stand up. It's like a variety act, and you need to fit in the confines of that.
You have to prove your worth.
Yeah.
Because and this was something that somebody said to me a while ago, and it would be wonderful if AGT disproves this theory that this one executive had, where she said a comic will never win America's Got Talent.
It always feels like that.
And I said, why would you say that?
I thought,
and she said, because a skilled comedian makes it look effortless.
Oh,
and you are up against dancing dogs and acrobatics and fire swallowers.
And just weirdos.
That's true.
Waltz up there and take over a room with laughter and then wave goodbye, and that's it. So
and people are like, oh, I could do that. Yeah. They're not like,
and it's like, no, you don't know.
An 8-year-old backbending into, That's so interesting.
It is. And so when she said that, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We've gotten close. Tom Cotter got really close. Preacher Lawson got really close.
Yeah.
But never won.
It's usually like maybe like a ventriloquist stand up that can get there.
Or a funny magician.
Party trick, kind of like a party trick. Yeah. Something. You need some type of element. I'd love to be a magician. I'm like, I can't. Who has the time? Who has the time? I'm like, I need to go to a master's degree program for magician school because that would be worth it. That would elevate my act.
It's also, you would break. I feel like there's not a lot of female magicians, so that would be a glass ceiling.
It's like we've got smaller hands. Easier.
Sleight of hand is so much easier.
Yeah.
Why have we not taken over this market?
Yeah, why not?
I love too, like the Magic Castle. I love the whole vibe there.
The Magic Castle.
Oh my god, it's so amazing. I don't know if we can even talk about it. Are they gonna sue us?
Can we?
It's so incredible. But I feel like if you were like a reasonably sexy woman, I would take the glasses off. Oh my god, hot immediately.
That's your trick.
Just transform. Yeah, that's my magic trick. Ta-da!
And they're like, oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
That's how Superman did it. He fooled us all.
So Gina, where's next for you on the road? Where are you heading to next?
I'm leaving this week for Las Vegas. I'll be at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club.
Oh, fun.
Oh my gosh,
I actually really
Vegas
like Vegas.
Yes.
I love it. I love it when it's like so
people
hot
watching
here too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you feel like you're on the surface of Venus.
Yes.
You're like,
it's
like you can't go out, you can't breathe,
Yeah.
and then you get inside, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's just so, I
Artificial
stay
environment.
inside. I don't leave until I have to do
It's
the show.
so weird. I love. We talked about this once. Like, I was like, I want to go shopping, but I didn't feel like getting a cab. I could not figure out how to get out of a casino because and then once you're out, you have to like spiral out of a concrete structure, like climb over a fence, and then you're like on a sidewalk and walking a mile to the next casino.
Yeah.
That's also equally as confusing to get into.
Mhm.
So you can only stay at the place that the hotel's at.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
They were like, how could we trap people in here so they can only go to the buffet?
They're like, every exit is by a bunch of slot machines. They're like, just in case.
Just in case. Can I say though, I love a buffet.
Oh,
I
me
love a
too.
good buffet.
A buffet. That's
love a
Choices, a plate with lots of conglomerate of food.
The one they have is it Caesars where they have like it's like the world's buffet and it's like $80 and you're like
I would do yes.
There for 4 hours just nibbling, and then you're trying different combos that you've never had before, like shrimp and pudding. What? Am I a gourmand? Oh, I love a buffet. Even at like a shitty casino, I'm like, I'll see you at the buffet. I'm getting paid like $50 and the buffet's $45. I'm like, I'll be there. I'll be over there.
See you guys there.
Now, so Gina, like when you go, of course you're traveling, all of us ladies, we're all traveling. Like what's your packing like? Like what's your top 5 things that you have to take with you when you're going
Do
out?
you have show outfits or are you really just like who you are is what you are on stage?
Yes.
I mean,
I
it's
want to
the
be a show
majority.
outfit girl.
I do too.
It's a
I've
lot
just
of work
gotten a new
though.
show top.
I have a lot
and it's so uncomfortable.
I'm just getting back into a new style for myself because I think after having my son, I was so very conscious of the bodily changes. When I was pregnant, I lived for it. I was like, I'm big as fuck. I didn't care. I was like, look at this belly. Like, I didn't care.
Oh, yeah.
I was loving it. I was like, this is amazing. I don't know where my lungs are anymore.
Yeah.
They moved. I don't know where. My whole insides have relocated. It was amazing to me. And then, you have the baby and you're like, oh, I got to put this somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I was so very conscious of that. And like, even when I was doing AGT, I talked to the wardrobe people because I was like, hey, I'm real self-conscious about my body right now. And, people on the internet comment all the time.
Oh, it's horrific.
And
They'll be like, her knees are weird. And you're like, new insecurity
I've
unlocked.
Yeah.
She'd be cute if she lost 50 pounds. And I'm like, first of all,
I'd be
thank
dead.
you, but I'm also cute now.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for calling me cute.
You see my potential.
After a while, you just have to kind of like, I like to like every negative comment because I think it's very confusing for the negative person.
You're like, thank you.
I just write back, thank you so much.
Usually they delete it after I like it. They're like, she sees me. I was like, oh no, you made a negative
Yeah, you're
comment.
not just an asshole in a void.
Yeah. You exist in this reality and I can see you.
Yeah.
So I was just very conscious of my body. And so like what I'll do is I do the Steve Jobs where it's like, I'll bring an outfit that I'm going to wear on stage for that weekend.
Yep.
Because I loved his mentality of like, I only have a certain amount of brain power.
Yeah.
It's not going into an outfit. I'm gonna
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick something that I know I feel confident in, that I know I feel comfortable in, and then I'm gonna go on stage. I'm just gonna do my thing. Now, when it comes to like specials, I'll amp it up and I'll be like, all right, I want something confident, but I want something special.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I want to look fly for my special,
Absolutely.
but I still want to be able to move and be comfortable. Everything I've worn on television, apart from one outfit.
Oh, I want to hear this one outfit though.
I didn't like my outfit for my HBO special, for my half hour. And they're very well aware of this because I think I locked myself in my green room for a little while.
Was it a thing that you chose or was it
bawling
something?
my eyes out.
What-
They
no.
chose, and that works.
Okay.
HBO chose my outfit.
Okay.
And I didn't like it at all.
They never know. People do not know what is good on
They
you.
They
Makeup
called
is
me
the same
and they
way
were like,
too.
we're going to go get
Yeah.
we're going to go pick up some wardrobe. And I said, well, I'm not with you. So I won't know, like, you're going to blindly pick up a bunch.
Yeah, wild.
You know how much stuff you're going to have to pick up and how many different sizes, and I don't know the cut of something, and what are you getting? And they're like, well, we'll pick out a few things. They picked out one outfit in 2 sizes.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. The sizing in women's clothing when I to get a dress or something like that, I have to go to a barn that has 1,000 options.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because you can't just go to a place that has 3 options and then think you're gonna get anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
then
It's
having stuff
horrific.
tailored is nice, but at the same time, it's like I don't have time to send every outfit
I
to
know.
get tailored. Like, trust me, I wish I had Oprah time and Oprah money to
Yeah.
send that stuff in all the time, but I have to find stuff that just looks nice.
Yeah.
and I'm
It takes
comfortable in.
forever.
Right out the
I mean,
gates.
everyone's done that where you're like, I need an outfit. I'm going to Macy's, and you're like, and there's nothing here. I've been here 5 hours. I'm crying. I have a cramp in my calf. I'm dehydrated.
I'm gonna wear sweatpants. I hate this.
And then
Yeah.
you panic by something that makes you look like mother of the
A
bride.
couch. Yeah,
Oh my
just a couch
Or like
person.
a
I'm just a
saran
golden
wrap
girl.
sausage.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I wearing?
I know. By hour 5, I'm like, I guess I love this. This is my style. Loud prints. I'm doing this right now. Like, I'm experimenting. I had a very like basic wardrobe. That was my thing, like capsule wardrobe, which is great. But it's like then for the stage, you end up looking so neutral, and I feel like I need something. My act is more like kind of a character, like white lady at Whole Foods. It's like I want to play it up and wears like a puff sleeve, But it's like, so I'm scared though. I'm like going out experimenting, getting one top, trying it. Because it's like I can't just go out in like a black turtleneck looking like I've just shot a film.
Yeah.
Looking like I just shot a film about like women's rights in the 70s or something. Like, so, but it's hard. It's hard. And I have that, that too, where it's like going through a whole place and like, I hate everything in here. I don't know who I am.
Yep.
What do you end up wearing at the show?
Especially for the specials and stuff,
Yeah.
because you want to look back on it and not be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Yeah.
why was I wearing a
for the-
hat?
I have a beanie.
For the HBO special, I'm wearing like a black jumpsuit, which I did not think was flattering.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a red jacket, which I thought was just an eyesore.
Okay.
And it's not
Yeah.
about the styles themselves.
Yeah.
It's about how they fit me.
Yeah, how
Yes.
you
And I
feel in
didn't
it.
like how they fit me. I didn't like how they clashed with my background. So like, I mean, but it was literally the day we were filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
And I
nothing
was
you
like,
can do
so
about
you don't
it.
like anything that I bought with me? And they were
Yeah.
just like, no, we don't really think anything's going to work. So we'll just pick something up for you. And I'm like, this is so unfair. And I just remember feeling so uncomfortable. I was sitting in my green room crying.
Yeah.
And just being
Gosh.
like, I hate this. I hate the way I look for my half-hour special. And this is going to be awful. I'm going to have to watch it. And I'm going to just hate how I look. And, you know, the thing is, the
I will say,
special
I
went
saw it.
great.
Your hair looked amazing.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Your hair looked amazing. Your hair looked
It did.
amazing.
My
I
hair
don't
and
even
makeup was on
remember
point.
the outfit, but I remember being like, oh my God, her hair.
Yeah.
Your hair's
Yeah.
amazing.
The hair was doing its thing. It is true.
But
But
at
I
least you
very,
got
like,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why for the Floor is Lava, I think I was so adamant on like getting who I wanted to style me
Yeah.
and who I wanted to do my hair and makeup. I was very like, no, I want these people. This is who I want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's so hard because I feel like you're treated as if it's trivial to think about these things. But it makes me think of Fleabag when she does her whole speech about hair is life.
Yeah.
Like if you don't feel like you look good, I went months without getting a haircut, like a full year, and I felt like I was so depressed. And as soon as I could get highlights again and a cut, my mood changed
Yeah.
instantaneously.
Yeah.
That it will affect your performance or how you feel about
It will.
who you
'Cause
are on
need
stage.
to feel comfortable and confident.
Yeah.
Because you know you're going to see this. Like even when I was in the editing room for the Floor is Lava, I was like, I really love my outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I was
If
like watching it, I was
anything,
like,
yeah.
It's so good. I
I've
love
got
it.
this. I
This-
look good.
The story
Yeah.
has a happy ending, finally.
Yes. The story
Taking
has
the
a
power
very,
back.
very happy ending of that's exactly what it was though. And
Yeah.
I think like as I mature in this business, as I mature as a mom and as a person, I start to realize that I've stopped myself from speaking up in those moments.
You got
where
to advocate.
I had every right to speak up,
Yes, that's the cold shower.
and people will take advantage of
Yeah.
that because. And here's the thing: our fear, I think, as women, is always like, I don't want to be looked at as a bitch. I don't want to be
Yeah.
mean.
Yes,
difficult.
100%. Yeah.
Because that's what's going to be said about you.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, you really got to be like, why is it any different
Yeah.
Yes.
when I do it versus when a man does it?
Yeah.
Why is it any different when a guy walks in and knows what he wants? He's just about his business. But
Yeah.
when I know what I want, I'm a pushy bitch.
Yeah.
Or
And it's like,
difficult
no, I'm not.
or annoying.
I'm not trying to
Yeah.
be difficult. This is what I want.
Yes.
And there's men that are also like horrific to work
Yeah.
with, but I don't feel like you hear about.
until
For every
it, like,
Katherine Hagel, I never hear about the difficult man. Maybe occasionally like the Bruce Willis, but I think he had dementia.
I know. So now we're like, well, now it's like, well, now you can't hate him.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
dementia,
I
bro.
know you don't hear about the man until it's like Scott Rudin and it comes out that he's just been like stabbing his employees through the hand with pencils in the office, and he's been doing that for 50 years.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you finally hear like, oh, well, he's kind of gruff.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
He's a little gruff.
Well,
like,
be
Kath-
a bitch.
Katherine Hagel has
Do
one
it.
off comment, and she's kind of like blacklisted.
just written
Well, that
off,
was the
yeah.
thing. Because I remember getting wind of that whole drama thing and I'm always very inquisitive. Like I was like, is Katherine Heigl a problem? Is she a
Yeah.
problem? Because I don't know her. I don't know any famous people.
Yeah.
I just know the rumors about them.
Yeah.
And then finding out about the other underlying issues, it's not that she was a problem. It's that she was advocating for people getting fair pay and for people she was a problem because she spoke up about the stuff that wasn't
Yeah.
being done. And then everyone was like, you're a problem.
And
I'm
roles
like,
for a
wait,
woman
no.
too.
Yeah.
So funny. It's like, what is a bitch exactly? It's like a woman who's like just trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
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 Oh, how dare you?
Yeah.
Equal pay.
Yeah.
Get out of here with your
Yeah.
crazy lady request.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Treated with
Oh my
respect. Oh, you're lucky we let you vote, little one.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I think that's a good note to end.
Yeah.
On Lady Journey.
Cold
be a bitch out
showers.
there. Take
Be
a
a
cold shower.
bitch.
Gina, where
Take
can
a cold shower,
everybody
be a
find
bitch.
you?
You can find me on Instagram at G Brillon, on TikTok at Gina Brillon, or you can check my website, see if I'm coming to a city near you, at
Yes.
ginabrillioncomedy.com.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank
You're such a power, such a force. And thanks everybody for listening. Please like and subscribe. And please don't delete us. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Lady
Lady
Journey.
Journey.